Welcome to another edition of Tyrone Paulson Drives, where today I get to test drive a car for the first time right here in South Africa that, funny enough, I've actually owned since 2023. This is the new OMODA C5 GT, and this is the OMODA C5 that I own. Yes, I know it's not real, but it's still mine, and it's very special because I got it from OMODA in China last year at its launch. So you can imagine how exciting it is for me to be able to get to drive the real thing on our very own roads. The OMODA C5 has been on South African roads since the third quarter of 2023, but this version is the new C5 GT. Now, besides some of the extra gold trim bits on the bumpers and on the badging and inside of the car, which looks very awesome by the way, it has a more powerful engine and it has a change to its gearbox as well. Now, the C5s that we're used to comes in 5 different trim levels, and they start off with the Lux version at 447,900 Rand, and then it gets to the top of the range Elegance S, which is 509,900 Rand. Now, all of them share the same engine and gearbox configuration, which makes use of a 1.5 liter turbocharged engine producing, well, a very decent 115 kilowatts and 230 newton meters of torque, and it sends all the power via a CVT gearbox to the front wheels. Now, the C5 GT version, on the other hand, well, this one is about 80,000 Rand more than that Elegance S version, and it comes in at 589,990 Rand, and it sports an upgraded 1.6 liter turbocharged engine, which gives you 145 kilowatts and 290 newton meters of torque, and it makes use of a new dual clutch transmission. Now, the GT, just like all the other versions, have a whole bunch of choice of colors that you can definitely choose from. I think it's about something 7 or up, and there's even the two-tone ones like this car has on it. You also have a whole bunch of other additional, accents and stuff that you can add on, and with this car it also comes with this roof spin spoiler thing that you can put on it. But honestly, I would not go with it. The way it looks right now is just perfect. Now, when I saw this car in China last year, I was impressed by its looks and what OMODA calls their design philosophy of art in motion. And yes, it does somehow does that whole arty kind of feel to it. I do also notice that there's a little bit of valor in this car, especially when you look at the rear design and even the front setup. It's here. It's also built, OMODA itself, as a more luxury, sporty alternative to the Cherry range of cars. The main thing that you notice when seeing the C5 for the first time is this very imposing kind of grille. And then there's that floating roof line that it kind of has, which looks really, really good. Honestly, this is quite a unusual yet interesting design that somehow, well, it just works. Now, the C5 is aimed to a more younger, connected motorist, hence the styling and all the tech that's included in this car. So, let's talk about the tech that you find inside of this car. The first thing that you notice when you get into this car is these 10.25-inch infotainment screens. There's one for the infotainment side and one for the driver, and both of these are high-definition display. The one for the driver is very customizable, by the way. You're able to change the layout to have traditional round dials or some tech and fashion kind of themes, which are all very cool. It gives you all the information that you require. The infotainment system itself is very, very simple to operate. If you use a touchscreen mobile phone like we all do right now, then, well, this is just going to be very, very easy. The menus are clear and simple to understand. What's even better is it's how easy the system integrates with your mobile phone. So, for example, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are wirelessly connected into it. You're probably going to end up using either one of those two systems while driving this car with your maps and everything else and your favorites. The audio system, by the way, is a Sony sound system, which allows you to, well, change the ambient lighting to to, well, pulsate and change to the music when it goes. It's very cool, actually. These lights also change when going into different drive modes as well. So if you go to eco, normal, and sport, it changes the color. These seats, by the way, I really like this actual design. It's like an integrated sports seat with the headdress and everything all built in. So it's like one kind of thing, and it makes use of eco leather. I don't know what eco leather is, but it really is, well, comfortable to the touch. And finding your seating position is very easy because it's all electronically controlled. So you get in, sit down, press a button, it's done. There's dual zone air conditioning, and there's wireless charging for your mobile phone, which is where you can put your phone right over here and it just sits in here and it charges, which is great. It's got a 360-degree camera which shows the entire car when turning, when parking, when reversing, and when even standing still, which ensures that you're always aware of your surroundings. Other safety features include stuff like blind spot detection. It's got auto emergency braking, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, collision warning, and traffic congestion assist. It even shows you while you're driving how many cars are in front of you on the screen, and when a car drives away from you in front of a robot. It's got ISOFIX points, it's got airbags front, rear, and side. Basically, it's got everything that you need from a safety aspect, which is why, by the way, this car has been given a 5-star NCAP rating, which is really good. Seating in the rear is also a very comfortable place to be in the OMODA C5 GT. There's enough knee room, there's even place on my feet to go underneath the seats. And yeah, it's good enough for me as well as my almost 1.9 meter tall teenage son. Now the same with the headroom as well is very good, even with the sloping roofline. There are cup holders in the center armrest. There are air vents as well as a USB charging point and also a door pocket over here. What I really do like though is the way these armrests are built into the door. It just makes you feel like you're kind of a bit more relaxing place to be in it. So you can easily fit 3 people in here, but for a more comfortable ride or longer journeys, I would probably say that, yeah, 2 in the back would definitely be in. I really do like this trim, this gold trim in the doors and on the seats. It just adds a bit of a more sporty premium kind of look to it. Nice place to be. The boot is a decent 378 liters, meaning that you can fit at least 2 large suitcases in here, and with the second row flipped down, you get a total of 1,075 liters. Under the boot, you get a little bit of extra storage space, and you also get a space saver spare wheel. So if you are going to be hitting the long road and going away for the weekend, you should have more than enough space for that, and also for, well, going for those large shopping sprees. Driving the C5 and this GT version is, well, very easy and very comfortable too. It's so easy that I think anybody will get really comfortable with its general usage very easily, be it a newbie or even somebody who's been driving for a while. You easily get used to its dynamics, so it's an easy car to kind of live with. The only little issue that I might have is some of its default modes it have, and one of them is that by default, when you have the car, it by default goes into eco mode, which is quite a good thing because, you know, then you drive it kind of respectively. But as soon as you switch to, well, normal mode, well, then the car immediately becomes a little bit more responsive, and you can specifically feel it in its throttle response. Now, the problem with that is that when you get to a traffic light or a stop street and you've been driving it in eco, but now you've switched to you know, normal mode, and when you turn away and accelerate too much, that happens. You get a bit of wheel spin. The steering, the electronic steering it's on this, it's really good. It's light in, you know, low speeds and in traffic, and you can turn in easily and go wherever you need to go. And even when going around corners at a bit of a higher speed, it also feels good. I would just have liked it to be slightly a little bit more firmer, but more tighter. But it's, for an average driver, it's not going to make a difference in your life. You get used to it so quick. It's very easy to live with, to be quite honest. Now, this 1.6 liter turbocharged engine is very responsive. and it can be, well, quite engaging at times as well. The only thing that I really wish that this car had, though, was that it had, well, paddle shifters, you know, like specifically when you're in sport mode, that you can kind of use it to shift, because it will make it a lot more engaging. But if that's not your thing, then it doesn't really matter. I mean, it shifts to the correct gears that you want it to get to when you're overtaking, for example, and it will even hold the right gear maybe a little bit longer when going at a bit of a higher speed or needing to get to a certain speed. So it really is good, you know. The only issue that I do find, but that's something with all dual clutch transmissions, is when you're at lower speed, it's like almost like it's kind of hunting for a gear. But that's okay. It's something that you can kind of easily get over with. It's not really a thing. Average fuel consumption, though, is claimed at 6.9 liters per 100 kilometers. We've been averaging about between 7.5, maybe 8.5 liters per 100 kilometers. But again, that was me driving it in eco mode and then swapping over, and then that whole throttle thing kind of happens. But it's still decent enough fuel economy for a car with a 145 kilowatts on tap and 290 Newton meters of torque. Now, there are some things that kind of get to me of this car, and it could possibly just be because, well, I'm a grumpy old man, and it's those default modes I just mentioned. You see, whenever you get into the car, by default, it plays this awesome little graphic, and then it plays a tune. Now, it's quite cool initially, but after like the 100th time, you just want to turn it off. And then there's, for example, the car by default has got stop start on. Now, stop start, nothing wrong with stop start. I think it's awesome. It works really well. The problem with the stop start is when it's combined to auto hold, it is a little bit finicky. It just doesn't happen immediately. So for example, if you might be standing at a traffic light, right? And now your car's turned off and you want to pull away. So it's first stop start, and then it must release that. And that just takes a little bit too long for me. Just to, give you an example. There, the car turned off. Now I need to go, row bar changes. Now it's that. And then it goes. See, but you can turn that off. Unfortunately, though, you can't turn stop start off by default. It will just reactivate, but auto hold you can turn off. I just like using auto hold. So again, that's maybe just me. And then there's the other thing. I don't know if you can hear it. It's that indicator. The sound is cool. I mean, it's okay. It's different. But again, after your 50th or 60th time of doing it, I just want to turn it off. But then again, maybe I'm just a grumpy old man. At under 590,000 Rand, I think the OMODA C5 GT is a very good, fun car. It's chilled and relaxing when you need it to be, and a little bit fun too. I honestly would love to have the all-wheel drive version in South Africa, which is a car we drove in Wuhu in China in 2023. As can be seen from the video, you can do some other fun things in the car. The OMODA C5 GT definitely is something I think would definitely appeal to a younger market from 25 to about 35 years old. It's laden with tech that the current generation wants, and with its looks, it would definitely appeal to them. It's definitely not boring looking, and it's a hell of a lot of fun as well. And then there's also the warranty and maintenance that you get onto it, with a 5-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty, and that 1 million kilometer, 10-year engine warranty. Plus there's also a 5-year, 70,000 kilometer service plan. And at the same time, its dealer footprint is growing really, really big across South Africa. So overall, I think this is a very good offer, be it for you or for someone that you know. So thank you for watching another edition of Tyrone Paulson Drives. If you've liked the video, please like and leave us a comment as well. And if you haven't subscribed us yet, please do so. Thanks for watching.